Hey y'all, so we're going to talk about Jehosheba. I don't get this story talk about Enoch. So Jehosheba is Athaliah's daughter, and Athaliah is the daughter of Jezebel and Ahab. So Jehosheba is Jezebel's granddaughter. Knowing she comes from a wicked family, she's seen everything, and she decided to make a decision to go against her own family. And her mother decided to kill everyone in the family, all the heirs, anybody who had next, because that's how bad she wanted to be in position. That's how bad she wanted the crown. She didn't care what it cost her, who got in the way, even if it was her own. So Jehosheba made a decision because her brother Ahaziah, he had an infant son, and she saved his son Joash before the soldiers could kill him, and she moved him into the temple priest where her husband was. She moved him into the temple where her husband was high priest. So for 6 years, Joash grew up hidden in the house of God, while Athaliah sat on the throne, thinking she wiped out the entire line of David, and she was absolutely wrong. One woman's courage kept the promise. And when Joash was 7, he was crowned king, and Athaliah overthrown. The Davidic line continued, and that line eventually led to Jesus. And before I go on, who is God trying to make in you? Is God trying to make you like Jehosheba, where you have to go against your family, no matter what it's going to cost you, no matter if you got to be out here by yourself, no matter what is going to cost you? Will you make the brave decision and say, God, whatever you ask me to do, and whoever you need me to save in my family, will you do it? She saved her brother's son, her nephew. One courage that she had, one brave act that she moved, it saved the bloodline. Because her mother was like, she could have went along with her mother. She could have continued to, like, oh, I'm going to be like my mother, my grandmother, this is who we are. But something in her just wasn't right. Like, y'all treating people wrong. Y'all want control. Y'all manipulating. Y'all deceiving. And y'all controlling people. Like, the things that y'all do, y'all killing people. And that wasn't in her. That wasn't in her. She really was a woman of God. She decided to chase after God. And then she had a husband. And her husband was Jehoiada. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Jehoiada. And he was the high priest. So she hid her nephew in the temple for 6 years. Can you imagine somebody being hidden for 6 years? If God got you hidden for 6 years, and don't bring you out to your 7, will you be okay? Sometimes God got to keep you hidden. Sometimes God got to keep you hidden for the right appointed time. So can you wait while you're being hidden? Can you wait while you're going through the process, while everything around you is being crazy? See, her mother was now crowned, so she was doing all types of whatever she wanted to do. Whatever her mother did was passed down. And see, Ahab was a man of God, but when he got with Jezebel, he was withering like grass, and then eventually he got consumed by what she was. That's why you have to pay attention to who you marry, who you are connected to in friendships and business and everything in life, because let's not be naive and think that we can't change while we're trying to be saved by God, and God can deliver you from something, but yet there are things that you can turn back to by being in the wrong environment with the wrong people. So therefore, will you rise up and be a Jehosheba and go against everything that the world is putting out? Can you go against everything that your friends and your family is doing, even if it costs you everything? Because it can cost you everything the wrong way or everything the right way, walking with God, and you have His protection, you have His guidance. She made one move, one act that changed and saved a generation that led to Jesus being here. How can you in your life be like Jehosheba? And then we're going to go down. Jehosheba didn't have an army. She just acted because she seen something. Sometimes we act because we see something like that's not right. Like, I'm going to go in and help and step in and stand up for this person. So will you be like that, or will you be like, no, that's not my problem? But the heartbreak, we're going to talk about it. This is the heartbreaking, because this is where we'll feel like that we didn't do nothing right. Like, where do we start? Guilt and pressure will start building up in you. But let me tell you, let me stop you. So the heartbreak of this story was Joash started so well. He was listening to God. He was listening to everything that Jehosheba husband was teaching, because I don't know, Jehoiada, He was listening to everything that he was teaching him. Being raised up in God, being raised up in the temple for the 6 years. Like, all he knew was God. All he knew was God. As from a kid, all he knew was God. I want to serve. I want to do this. Like, yes. Like, yes. Like, I don't care what they're doing. Like, he was going against everything because he stood on he had a solid foundation. He was born with a solid foundation. But after Jehoiada died, Joash listened to the wrong officials and turned to adultery. He even had Jehoiada's son Zechariah killed for speaking truth against him. Zechariah's last words were, "May the Lord see this and call you to account." Joash was doing so good, but when he got crowned at 7 as king, and then it doesn't say he got crowned at 7. So he became a king at 7, but it doesn't say what time Jehoiada died. But when he died, it did something to him. It broke something in him. This is why we shouldn't judge everybody when they fall, because you don't know what season people are in. But then they'll start listening to the wrong voices because that hurt and pained them. Like, they already had somebody that was in their life that was teaching about God, and then somebody else come along and the wrong voices got in his ear at a time of weakness. Where in your life is there something that's coming along that can consume you, that you can get ahead of, that you know that you need to get in the presence of God, because you know it can take you out if you get in the wrong thing. It can turn you back. It can make you backslide. So where can you put yourself in the presence of God and not in the wrong people? See, the wrong people led Joash back into what his grandmother did, what his great-grandmother did. And everything that Joahad did, like, it kind of went out the window. And this is where prayer and everything, and this is for the person that's been standing, like, and it's like a slap in the face to Jehosheba, because, like, I saved you. Like, if I knew you was going to turn back and do what they was doing, like, I wouldn't have did this. But that's not the response or the heart that we should have. It's like, okay, I know that my husband just died, and he was all you knew. It was the father figure that you knew. He was all that you knew, that was raising you up right, that was there for you, that stepped in for and being something that you've never had. Like, he was there every moment, every milestone. Like, this man probably was there for Joash, and now he's gone. So now this person in your life is gone. What areas in this moment where you're grieving, where you know that in the wrong spaces you could go fall back into, lust, addiction, bad habits, to where now you listen to the wrong voices, you let the wrong friends that you done cut off back into your ear. They give you, you should do this, and you start falling back into those habits. So where in your life can you point out, so you won't be in a place as Joash, because he was doing so good, and then a moment. This is why we can't allow moments in people's lives to start talking about them, because people have moments. We have moments. We're going to have moments if we didn't have them yet, because you don't know what's going to hurt you. You don't know what can happen. We don't know what's going on in people's lives. When life happens, something that's dramatic, it changes people. So can you do a heart check while you're going through the storms, while you're going through something? And then it reminds us that being saved from something doesn't automatically mean you'll stay faithful. He was saved for 6 years. What happened? You were saved for how long? You've been sober. You've been free from addiction. But what made you fall back? The people who pour into us can do everything right, but we still have to choose God for ourselves. Jehosheba did her part. She was faithful. She saved the line, but Joash had to walk his own path, and sadly, he chose poorly. And it makes you think about legacy, right? You can do everything right for your kids or the people you love, but their choices are ultimately theirs. We can't control the choices of other people, but as long as that we're doing everything right to the T of what we know is best and stand on God's firm foundation, that is enough. Everybody has their own walk. Everybody is responsible for their own decisions and their behavior. You did your part. Don't hold on to guilt. Don't hold on to shame. Let it go. Who is God trying to make a Jehosheba? And when he make you a Jehosheba and things don't go right, don't get mad about the situation that turned out. And for every Joash, I pray that God covers you, because when hurt and things come in, you can be walking with God, but yet when tragedy comes, when Saul-like people come, Do not let it consume you. Turn to God.